Since the dawn of time, man has been searching for the perfect woman. For all of recorded history, the quest has met no end. Wars have been fought, empires have fallen, and still we search. Today, we are no longer barbarians. Fewer and fewer men have come to fisticuffs over 2 X chromosomes. In fact, some have found enlightenment. They believe there is no perfect woman in our dimension, instead finding comfort in the fictitious. It gives new meaning to the old adage, flat is justice. Japan is the modern mecca for the 2D girl. The country has manufactured women you could only dream of. A good chunk of these waifus are present in anime romantic comedies. The otaku there have labels for them that stem from the word dere dere, an onomatopoeia that roughly translates to love struck. You've got your yandere, your dandere, your kudere, and your kondere, but of all the deres, there is one dere that dares to deride directly. The dere queen, if you will. The Tsundere. Hi, my name is Watson. Welcome. This is Shonen Spotlight. Tsunderes are the most popular and prevalent dere type. In its natural habitat, the tsundere is cold and abrasive to its potential mate, but loves them dearly in private. If her mating rituals are successful, she will have a lifelong partner, the end goal for any red-blooded human. But enough pretext. You clicked on this episode. You want to know which girl is best girl. These are the definitive top 10 tsundere in all of anime. It's not like I made this list for you, babaka. These are my own opinion. Respect it or don't, that's your prerogative. If you disagree, you'll just have to live with yourself being objectively wrong. Anyway, on with the list. I can't think of a better place to start than this. Listen up, children. Anime from the 90s will never go out of style. The timeless feel of hand-painted cells cannot be rivaled, and the quality that comes with working with physical materials is lost in the age of media overload. One anime stands above all others among the card captors and the spirit detectives as the most popular anime of all time, Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm very glad I was able to experience it as an adult rather than the literal 2-year-old I was when it aired. Even in high school, this show would have flown right over my stupid head at the very least. Outside of its grapple with the existential dread of being alive, Evangelion is most known for its waifu war that still rages to this day. If you listen closely, you can still hear the combatants grasp their body pillows in anger. But here's the deal. Asuka is better than Rei. As much as a cactus is better than the dry desert heat. They're both terrible, but at least the cactus is alive. Prickly as it may be, the cactus will at the very least have a reaction to external stimuli. Asuka Langley Shoryu is in the dictionary under tsundere. See also, awful human being. Her interactions with Shinji are not anything close to healthy, but that's the whole point. You put real overbearing and over-emotional humans in life-or-death battles with Lovecraftian horrors every week, and I promise you, they will not be smiling at the end of the day, especially when they're already as damaged as Asuka. Hurt people hurt people. That's a reality. Asuka makes the list not because she is best girl, but because she is one of the most well-written. Inside that fiery red shell is a broken girl in need of the love she chases away without trying. At the end of the day, though, she's still a horrible person. She's not there for Shinji. She's barely there for herself. And that's not nearly as attractive as the girl who's got all of her stuff together and sits around her house taking baths and drinking beer. But Pen's not tsundere enough for this list. One Piece is a series that does not typically fall into easy writing tropes. And when it does, it likes to dial it up past 10 for comedic effect. Seriously, it took 20 years for Oda to write something close to a tsundere with Charlotte Pudding. Big Mom's 35th daughter is a wonderful addition to the cast, and I love her dearly. But this is a list about anime, not manga. The One Piece anime has a strange history. It took 14 years after the manga began to start airing, and when it did, they took some huge liberties with the source material. Episode 1 starts with a focus on Nami, and we're eventually introduced to Luffy, and weirdly Chopper in Blue Cat form. They all have pet names for each other for some reason, even though they just met, but I refuse to call them anything but their Oda-given names. Instead of pirates on the search for the greatest treasure, the Straw Hats call themselves mages and want to join a guild? I almost question whether or not this is supposed to be the same thing, but look at the character designs. There's no way anyone could get away with this blatant forgery without consent from the creator. Well, despite this obvious downgrade from the manga, the anime gives us a pretty good tsundere in episode 1. Normally, we're not supposed to meet Nami's blue-haired sister Nojiko until the Arlong arc, but they decide to make her Nami's stand or something, and make her a mermaid. I mean, mermaids are completely in-universe, but stands are not. Nojiko hates being called out because it takes her away from her boyfriend and attacks Nami whenever she gets the chance. That's a pretty big departure from the caring older sister I know from the manga, but hey, whatever. She would eventually show that she does care for her sister and protect Nami when she was in danger, so points for doing the tsundere thing right, I guess. And the show seemed to go over fine with a lot of people regardless of its independence from the One Piece manga, because the anime would continue for 5 whole years. I'm just happy it ended long before the manga did. Maybe now we could get a version that's more faithful and... I'm just spitballing here. Maybe adapt more than 1 chapter per episode? Maybe do a seasonal release or something? I can't imagine how burnt out animators would get doing the same series that slowly for 20 years straight with the bare minimum budget just to get a product out the door to sell merch. A guy can dream. Dude, what are you talking about? This next entry is a hallmark of my childhood. Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold. Her tsundere-ness needs no explanation, and anime has rarely outdone her panache. Stop! No, hold on, I'm not finished. Like the rest of the show, Helga's character is a timeless display of childhood depicted in a way that speaks to all ages. She stalks Arnold all over town, bullies the football-headed protagonist when she's discovered, and once he leaves, Helga's poetic soliloquies of her love for the boy that follow are incredibly charming. You can't help but root for her to get it together even at her most cruel. It's not anime. 2017's Hey Arnold, the Jungle movie, among a lot of loose ends it tied up, gave the cathartic finale to Helga's crush when she finally confesses, following close to 15 years after the show's cancellation. I will always give a show points for ending with the 2 romantic leads together. But this one is way better than most because I actually care about both of them, making it way better than stuff like Toradora. No, you can't do that. You can't claim Hey Arnold is better than Toradora and not put Taiga on a list about anime tsunderes. Hey Arnold is anime. Don't give me that baloney. This isn't Avatar. It's not the Boondocks. It's Hey Arnold. It doesn't look like anime. No one's claiming The Simpsons is anime, but here you are making this ridiculous list. Well, actually... Oh, but in Japan, all animation is called anime. Do you live in Japan? No. You live in the dead center of the United States. Speak like the people who raised you. Put down the sword, you giant f***ing weeb. They dubbed it in Japanese. Number 8, Taiga Aisaka from Toradora. Moving on. I know it's a little early to bust out the pinnacle of Japanimation on this list. The original Japanese dub of Corey Whitehouse Cho Taihen is the Mew under the pickup truck of anime. Some deny its existence entirely, but I found it. And let me tell you, it exceeds the hype. The animation is godlike, nearly convincingly photorealistic. Disney's English dub really botched it, though it is admirable how they were able to make this of all things a spin-off of That's So Raven. They erased nearly all of the political intrigue, deep romantic subplots, and the entirety of the reverse isekai nature of the show in the process, so I gotta dock some points for that. Even so, I can't bring myself to use the original names after growing up with that dub. I could go on and on about my favorite stories, like the one where they reveal Newt is a spy for Britannia, every time Sophie manipulates her father, the president, for her own political gain, or how Corey's necromancy, the only of his vast power set he was able to bring from his original world, was able to turn the tide of the war. But hey, I'm not here to spoil the experience of the best anime of all time for you. We're here to talk about tsundere. And there are none more tsundere than Richard Martinez, the President of the United States himself. Forgive the dub reference, please. It's tragic how he's mismanaged in Disney's version. In the original, the House of Representatives is wrapped around his finger with his wiles. The Senate bends to his mistreatment. And as the pilot of the Lincoln Memorial mech suit, the president is more than capable of defending his country. When people talk about Corey Whitehouse Cho Taihen ships, people are all about Corey x Mina and Newt x Corey, and even President Martinez x Samantha, his secretary, for some reason. But they're all ignoring the best ship. It's obvious President Martinez only has eyes for Chef Baxter. In spite of all his scheming, Rich is a simple man, and the chef has the roadmap to his heart with a rest stop at his stomach. He may try to keep Chef Baxter humble by criticizing his food, but his actions betray his words. Their relationship is worthy of my number 7 spot. Ronald Ulysses Swanson from Parks and Recreation. Next entry. That's it. Finish this episode on your own. Listicles are asinine. I don't know why I agreed to this. And the door is locked. Perfect. I'm quarantined with a lunatic with jokes from last decade. Stardew Valley is my favorite anime from 2016. It's a wonderful anime about quiet country life in a bold 8-bit-like style that you are in full control of. You, the unnamed protagonist, inherit your late grandpa's farm and decide to abandon your soulless corporate job to start a new life of tilling the fields. It's a dream situation, really. Live in the quiet countryside, be your own boss, have a ton of pets, make new friends away from all the relationships you've ruined in the city, meet that special someone who doesn't know about that embarrassing thing you did in high school that still keeps you up at night. You know the one. Stardew Valley is a harem anime at its core. The protagonist has many different potential suitors they can court, marry, and divorce at will, but they're all pretty bland. Well, I mean, Maru and Abigail are pretty great, but neither of them have the biting edge of the Tsundere. True to most harem anime, the best girl is the one who's not at all interested in Protag-kun. In Stardew Valley, that girl is the fishing mechanic. As soon as Willie gives you your first fishing pole, you are quickly made aware of how much she hates you. She is a cruel mistress. The fish jump around the screen as you try to keep up and land that catch with the small window you're allowed. She never makes it easy until you shower her with gifts. Then she starts to cooperate. Kinda. With the right technique, she can pull in a fortune, but not without being a bitch about it. Even with your best effort, she may scrape the bottom of the pond for a piece of trash. I can't tell you how many fish have gotten away from me because that stupid rod won't let me have my way. But that's why I love her so much. She will always keep me in my place when my ego gets too inflated. Damn it, another herring? Once there was a girl who was top of her class. She had everything she could ask for. She was an heiress from a rich family. That naturally brought her popularity, countless groupies, spices, and the ability to keep the teachers on her side. Her power slowly corrupted her until the once kind and caring girl was gone. Then a boy came into her life. He was a simple, polite, yet oblivious transfer student who wouldn't just follow her like everyone else. He had his own ambitions that he worked hard to follow. Also, he was pretty hot. The girl instantly fell in love, and being the take-what-she-wants girl she is, asked the boy on a date. The boy stupidly agreed because she was also very attractive. They were inseparable for a while, even though the girl was clearly abusive to him. The boy had never been in a relationship before, so he didn't see or chose to forgive the red flags she was planting everywhere. She never treated the waitstaff well. She rarely initiated talks with him other than to put him down. She was always telling him what to do and how to do it. She insisted on being given gifts at regular intervals and blew a gasket when he missed the deadline that she didn't tell him about. He took it all in for a while, slowly growing less and less tolerant of her outbursts until one day, he finally snapped when she had her girlfriends check up on him to make sure he wouldn't embarrass her. He couldn't take it anymore, so he planned the best way to let her know with the last gift he planned to give her. It did not go over well. She went ballistic, but wouldn't let them break up. She still loved him even after that. The boy chose to distance himself, and he sent her a breakup letter through his new friends he made in the baseball club. She didn't accept it, making it a point to tear the letter up in his face. Her abuse only got worse. She was even able to turn one of the boy's best friends against him. Finally, the boy transferred schools again. This only made the girl angrier. She got new boyfriends to harass him with lies that she told them. She had friends everywhere and was able to continue her mistreatment of the boy through her large network of schoolgirls. The boy rose above every challenge and every girlish prank until the frequency between the attacks slowed, and finally they stopped. But the girl never fell out of love with the boy. The girl's fortune ran out after her mother died, and the loan sharks caught up with her father. The girl was left to fend for herself in ways she had never had to before. No maids, no chefs, just her own 2 hands. And with that hard work, she leveled out considerably. In the end, they didn't get back together. Even after the boy and girl had a chance encounter years later and forgave each other of their childish actions in high school. And that is the story of American independence. You know what I hate? Losing sleep. Day 14 of quarantine. Dearest Elizabeth, I can only hope this letter finds you well. I'm still well, though my sanity runs short. This pox that blights the globe has yet to reach my stronghold. Thinking of you is what gets me by day to day. I've been able to cook a lot more than normal, and I think I've finally perfected those cookies I could tell you never liked. You ate them anyway because you didn't want to hurt my feelings. I miss you so much. My bunkmate has begun to go stir-crazy. His latest illusion is that of everything being anime. Our bi-weekly broadcast to the Counterculture Alliance is getting more and more corrupted each day. Our watch list has run thin. He's begun analyzing and ranking the time of day, for God's sake. I'd find it almost funny if I didn't see so much of myself in his actions. I can feel the madness edging into my mind more and more each passing day, and it frightens me. I dream of the day to hold you in my arms again, my love. I remember the park we'd always go to after a long week at work. We'd spread out that blanket under our tree just to sit and watch the sunset. When this plague is over, I'll take you there again. We'll have a big picnic, and you can try these new cookies. I promise you won't have to lie to me this time. Yours always, Daniel. That's why Daylight Savings Time is my number 2 anime tsundere. The letter C is hot. You put 2 of them together and squint, you get a nice pair of boobies or a great butt. Something for everyone. No one's unhappy. It's a great cup size, a good grade, and my favorite third thing to sing in the ABCs. It's even in the title. C is for cookie, and that's good enough for me. But it's also pretty mean. It has 2 different sounds and makes the word necessary impossible to write without checking to make sure you got it right. And it makes a stupid rule in English spelling. I before E except after C. Who does C think he is bossing those vowels around? Neither of them is less important than C. It's weird C thinks itself so highly. C and E must be a couple though, because they are together on literally every electronic device in my house. I is clearly third wheeling here. Get a life, I. There are better letters out there. I hear V has a crush on you. C just makes sense. Until it doesn't. English is stupid. It's cumbersome to continue this conversation. It's convoluted beyond consideration. The Colorado Chamber of Commerce crafts consumer credit captivating customer cheer. Clown Cacophony Center closes catching countless chameleons clueless. C. 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 This episode is sponsored by the letter C and the number 58,008.